Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Talk the talk. Walk the walk. Talk the talk. Walk the walk. Real talk. Real talk. Talk the talk. Walk the walk. Talk the talk. Walk the walk. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk.
Welcome, everybody. I am Scott Smokin' Sills, even though you're seeing Brad Baumrock on the screen right now. Welcome back to another
I'm here
week.
Today.
Another week on the Ref Room, and we are in the process of, well, let me fix this thing here, but we have got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a great show lined up today. We have a couple very special guests I'm very excited to have here, but it's been a crazy week. I understand the NHL has canceled the Winter Classic. They've canceled the All-Star Weekend. So here we're continuing. I mean, it seems like some people are playing hockey. They're shutting some of the towns down. Who knows what's going on? But you know what? We got Brad here. What's going on, my friend?
No, we're finally in two screens. No, you know what? With the NHL standpoint of canceling the Winter Classic and the All-Star Game, I see their point. If they can't guarantee fans, why put together that venue? Why get the players together an extra time? Who knows how bad it's going to get? But from the NHL standpoint, they are trying to run a business, and without fans, they can't make a profit. So to rent those giant stadiums for the day and convert them has to be an enormous cost and probably almost a loss every time. So if you're not going to have it in the city, why try and put it together this season? They're going to try and cram 82 games into a January start, it looks like.
Well, that's going to be interesting. I don't blame them. I mean, those events are strictly for the fans. They are definitely fan favorites. They're great to watch on TV, of course. Maybe they'll do something, and I'm sure they will. And, we're going to bring in our guests right now. We got a lot to talk about today. It's just kind of a special show because these two guys agreed to be here. And I want to welcome our IHOA president, Steve Rickard, and our referee-in-chief, Eric Cowsill. Guys, welcome to the Ref Room.
Thanks for having us on today.
We're happy to have you here. And Steve, what's going on, my friend? You're back from Michigan, it looks like. You're back into the Chicagoland area, I hope. Now,
He's
Steve,
frozen,
can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, I can hear you. What was your question, Scott?
I just said, welcome back to Chicago, Steve. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, it's been a while.
Thanks, Scott. It's good to be back.
Yeah. So, we got a lot to talk about today. There's so much that's been going on and yet not going on. So I'm going to start with Eric as the referee in chief. What do you think? Are we going to have a hockey season this year?
Wow. Going for the throat.
I can share my personal opinion. It's just a gut feeling. If we do see anything, maybe January. I'm hoping we see something sooner, but I don't have anything definitive to lean one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I don't disagree with you there. I think I do agree with you 100%, actually. I think January is probably the earliest that we're going to get things going. A lot will depend on what happens in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're all hoping there's a season.
Yeah. Steve, have you been skating at all? Hello, Steve.
In Michigan,
are you there?
For a tournament.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yep.
Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. I have been skating. I was in Michigan.
Steve?
I've got a little bit of an interruption here, but I hope you can hear me. I was in Michigan last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and I was able to participate in a tournament, and I worked 16 games.
Nice.
I believe he was up in Brighton. Because there was a little midget showcase up there. I believe that I saw. I know some teams were going up there. Steve's got some internet issues, I believe.
I'm gonna log back on, guys.
All right, come out and come back in, Steve. We'll stay here with Eric and Brad for a couple minutes.
Eric, we lost him.
Yeah, we did. Down. He's going to come back in. Yeah,
there's Scott.
That's probably dialing me up, man. Just dial back in.
Anyway, so with a season, Mr. Cowsill, if we do have a season, I know a lot of people are putting out there. Would you be willing to wear a mask so we could get going, referee wise, player wise? I'm just asking this from my own personal standpoint because right now we're almost in November, and I'd pretty much wear an extra helmet if they made me right now. So what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just thinking from a couple of the ice sessions that we've had, it'd be difficult, but I think at this point, any of us would do whatever needs to be done, to get back up and going.
Yeah, I think we're all ready to get going.
Well, has anybody tried the electronic whistle yet?
Personally, I have not.
Brad?
I had one in my hand that somebody had at a locker room during one of our on ice sessions that are volunteer, by the way, for level 1 officials. They don't have to partake in those, but we did have good attendance. So it's probably the year if you want to come out and get some extra stuff, one-on-one wise with instructors. It's probably a good year to come out, but I did have one, and it sounds weird. It also, every time I was thinking about it on the ice, I'm like, so when I go for a washout, I'm going to let go of this thing and it's going to fly across the ice. That's what I
say it now. Goodbye whistle.
So, but
I got to think they have a little cord or something that you would wrap around your wrist to keep it so that you can flap your arms out there and you can do the bird flap there, Brad.
So do Nintendo Wii controllers, but people throw those through the TV all the time.
It's so true.
Fun.
Well, I mean,
but I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, we've seen players wearing masks. I mean, some of them wear them, some of them, it's voluntary at some of the venues that we've been in terms of when they're on the ice. So it's not unusual to see them out there. Some of the guys are pretty comfortable with it. I haven't tried it. I mean, I've skated a couple rental sessions, like rat hockey, and there's a couple guys with masks, but I typically wear the cloth mask. So or not the cloth, but like the paperish type masks like you get at the hospital. I don't think they'd hold up very well under the stress of the sweat coming down my face. So, but yeah. So, since we got Eric and Steve on the show today, a couple things that we do want to talk about. We're in need of some referees, I believe. Am I correct, gentlemen?
You are correct.
And so where are we right now? I mean, in terms of if you want to get back in, if you haven't signed up for USA Hockey and you want to participate in this season as soon as it comes back up, because when it happens, it's going to be quick. So tell us what the process is right now. You still have some seminars available. Guys can get in.
Yeah, we've got a seminar tonight, tomorrow, and a level 1 seminar next week. And currently that is it for the season.
So guys, now's your chance to get in. Big time.
So yeah, so if you wanted to sign up, what you need to do, and you guys have covered this in previous shows, is go to USA just like you would. Do what you got to do there, pick your seminar, and then also come back to our website and sign up just like you would.
Okay. All right, so the other thing I wanted to ask you about, guys, we're in a rule change year. So moving forward, what do you think some of the rules that we might be looking at that will be changing could possibly be? Has there been any talk, or have you seen anything sent in by any of the local referees? Because we should probably explain how this works. You're able to make, or submit rule changes, guys. So if you're a referee and there's something that you don't like, if you don't like the fact that when you miss an icing and that face-off is going to take place in the defensive zone of the team that probably shouldn't have a face-off taking place in that zone, that may not be your favorite rule. So it's something that you could submit for change as an example. So what is some of the things that you've heard about or you guys have talked about or think could happen in this coming year?
Scott, before we get going there, let's clarify this a little bit. You don't have to be a referee. You don't have to be a player. You don't have to be a coach. Anybody who wants to submit a rule change can submit a rule change. There are changes that are made from parents. There are changes that are made from coaches, from league representatives, and officials. Now, as officials, we may have a little heads up on how to research what goes into a rule change proposal, which, if one of you guys wants to cover it, you can. If not, I can. But, we might have a leg up on that, but anybody a part of our game can put in a rule change.
Well, there you have it. So, guys, what do you think we might see? Eric?
The most I've heard talk-wise is the last play on an icing call. I know a lot of people don't agree with that rule. They want to bring it back out to center ice. that is the one that I've heard talked about the most.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to come back to center ice personally. I think if it just came back out to the neutral zone, I think that would be much fairer. So it'd be it'd be the neutral zone closest to where that whistle took place. What do you think?
Out to the special spot.
The special
spot.
Is that the
What it used to be called in the rule book?
Okay, I didn't know about the special spot. That's before my time.
Out to the close and neutral zone face-off spot. I don't think you're ever going to make everybody happy, no matter what. No. And unfortunately, as the referees, you already screwed the game up. So wherever we put the face-off after that, we screwed it up no matter what. So I think a lot more referees are more concerned with it than coaches. I mean, coaches don't like it when it's against them, but they love it when it's in their favor. So they have an argument both ways. But as referees, we don't like it personally. I don't think you can make it really fair. We screwed up a rule. I mean, it's just like if you miss a penalty, you missed it. But like we screwed it up. We can't go back later and say, 4 whistles down the line. I thought about it. Let's put that guy in the box.
Don't you wish you could do that? Steve, I know you wish you could do that, right, Steve?
Well, it's not an option, Scott.
No, it's not.
Getting back to the icing rule. You never want to give anybody a territorial advantage.
That's definitely fair to say.
And I think the only fair thing to do would be to come back out to center ice and start it over again. We don't like to make mistakes. We try to be perfect, but even the best of us make mistakes, and you got to learn from those and move on. But getting back to the rule change, I've heard a lot of talk about it, and I think that's the most talked about topic that I've heard and talked about. Yeah. I don't know. Has anybody else heard of any other topics that are up for discussion on that?
I mean, that seems to be the most common, right? I mean,
that's most common in playing rules, but I've heard quite a few people that may or may not have already submitted the proposal to go back and have the 2 referee, 1 linesman referee system put into the USA Hockey Rulebook.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, think about it. We're short guys right now. It still gives you 2 pairs of eyes versus 1 pair of eyes when you've got a 3-man system going on. What do you guys think about that system, Eric? You're the referee in chief. Does that make life better for you, or does it make it tougher?
It doesn't make my life either way. I think that would make our assigners' lives a little bit more challenging.
In a good way or a bad? I mean,
well, this year, considering we're short, it'd probably make it a little more difficult on them.
Do you think we'll see 3-man and 4-man systems this year? To be honest, I mean, if we're that short on guys, if we come back to full-fledged hockey at some point here quickly, it may take guys a couple weeks to get completed. I mean, let's face it, if you have your I call them your credentials, but you have your credentials that are good through November. When do they end? End of November, or do they end like at Thanksgiving? Somewhere around there, we have the expiration of
November 30th.
November 30th. So you got till the end of November. And it's going to take you, if you start late, it's going to take you a couple weeks to get completed because they have the new screening process, and that takes at least 4 or 5 business days, guys. That's the reality of things. So, you're probably
that's minimum, Scott.
Well, that's how long it took for me. Now, I finally finished my modules last week. I haven't seen the crest yet. I'm kind of expecting to see the crest this week. Everything else has been done, so I should be complete. So I'm hoping I'll see my crest in the mail at some point.
Nice.
But that usually takes another week. So, everything takes a little time. We do have a couple comments coming in here, so I want to put a couple of these up. And William Green says they once investigated the possibility of a 2-point line. It didn't get much real talk, but was discussed often as humor. I don't know what the 2-point line is. So
like a 3-point line in basketball. Instead of
2-point, so you could score from a 2-point line.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think that's
if
definitely.
you shoot it from past this point, you get 2 goals.
I think men's league should have that already. They should have a 2-point line for the men's league, and probably a 3-point line for the guy that wants to crank it up, past the just before the center line.
Yeah, but then you get thrown out afterwards, right?
Right. Ned Braden says, "What's your thought on team guilty of icing? They cannot do a line change." Okay, so that's the rule that they have in college.
Professional hockey.
Yeah. Well, give your thoughts, and then I'm going to give my thought. What do you think? You're the referee in chief, Eric. What do you think of that rule?
I think asking 2 15-year-old officials working a squirt game to try and figure out everybody, who's on the ice for that line is going to be very difficult. To add that on top.
Boom! You read my mind. I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. Perfect.
Could you do it for tier 1 and varsity? Maybe, right? Because those guys are typically more experienced. But in a squirt or a peewee game, to ask younger officials to try and keep track of that.
Well, that's a good point that you make there, and maybe that means that what we have to have is, if that was to happen, that they would bring it in, say at the U15 level, where they get to ice the puck on the penalty kill, and another rule would kick in that situation, that you can't ice it, without suffering the fact that you can't change lines. What do you think, Steve?
Is he there?
I think it's great for college hockey. In the youth sector of hockey, I think that's a little much to ask, especially the younger officials. That's not to say that idea is not getting kicked around at the upper levels, but in the college game, usually the team will ice the puck and everybody will head to the bench for a line change, and it's your responsibility to know who's on the ice. Well, my way around that with the
there you go.
Game.
He gone.
Are you in Michigan or something? Like, are you like in a stabbing cabin or something, Steve, where they don't have internet capabilities?
In your car?
I mean, he's still got his white T-shirt on. I mean, oh no, actually, he's got some writing on it. So he did dress for us today. So
actually, earlier he was putting his clothes on when we got on.
Yeah, we can hear you, Steve.
We can hear you now. Well, there he goes.
Well, we did. He hit something. Well, he's playing over there.
So anyway, Scott, going back to it, put like Eric said, trying to get 2 15-year-old officials to figure that out, but and keep track of it is one thing. But also remember, it's from the point that they release the puck. So a lot can happen when, any game, tier 1, below, a lot of action can happen. Line changes can happen within that time period before some officials even recognize that there's an icing in play. Yeah. And during games, it's a 3 official or 4 official system. That's number one talked about thing in those systems is who's going to watch the line changes. Is it going to be the referee? Is it going to be the linesman?
Yep.
Because what happens is if both of you get sucked into the play, puck goes down, bang, all of a sudden you're like, oh, crud. People just got off the ice, and you go over there and you grab as many as you can and make it as fair as you can. But, it's normally somebody's responsibility, and trying to get 2 officials to do that on top of everything else just seems a little much. I like the idea. Agree. I think it's a great rule in higher levels of hockey, especially because in higher levels of hockey, those players are so good that they're intentionally icing the puck so they can get that stoppage. Yeah. At the lower levels of hockey, they're just half the time banging it down the ice because they don't know any better, or they missed the pass, or
Brad,
it's not an advantage. Yeah. Yes. You also centered your camera a different way.
He was. All right. While he's figuring that out, there was one thing on the rule changes that I remember from the last rule change that had a lot of debate, and that was at what level do we allow checking and do we not? And I wouldn't be surprised to see that come up again this year.
Well, what does Canada do? What's the rule in Canada for checking? What's the age group? Do they start at Pee Wee?
It's done by Providence, I believe. We'd need the one time that what's his name isn't on here. He would normally know. Yeah, I believe it's done by Providence up there.
So I thought it was,
I don't think anybody checks until Bantams in any of the areas.
If you guys are out there and you're watching and post it in the comments. Also, if you have some questions, we have Steve Rickard, who is the IHOA president. That's the Illinois Hockey Officials Association president.
The Friesinator.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got Eric Cowsill, who is our referee in chief. If you haven't met Eric before, great guy. Both these guys are out there all the time. You'll see them. They put a lot of time in. They're in a lot of the rinks. And they are here to help you guys. So if you have some questions, go ahead and put them in. I'd like to remind everybody that we do this every Wednesday. We start at noon, and it's it's just a conversation here. So if you guys have some topics that you'd like us to talk about, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us, or you can go ahead and post something in the comments. We check everything. So we'd love to entertain some of your thoughts for some future shows and future guests as well. So as we continue today, we're talking about maybe some rule changes here moving forward, guys, because this is a rule change year. We got to talk about something because it's not like we had anything to talk about over the weekend, By now, we expect it to be like full blown and like, oh, man, that game on Friday night. Wow, what happened there? But, we're still in the process of trying to get the season started. So
the CCM would be next weekend if you're
oh, my God,
all the Chicago guys out there. CCM would be next weekend.
So tell people that aren't from Chicago what the CCM weekend is, Brad.
I think everybody knows what the CCM weekend is. It's pretty well broadcasted throughout the country. But the CCM weekend consists of AAA clubs and upper level AA clubs coming in, all the way squirts through midgets. They play every level. All in a Friday, Saturday. All games are done by 2:00, I believe, on Sunday, except for the championships. So everybody can either catch a flight out or hit the road. And they played 1,400 games last year, Eric. Is that right? Just for that tournament and that weekend?
That sounds about right. Yeah, and we use pretty much every rink in the Chicagoland area. It's a grind.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So the one thing I can tell you is I did
just moved to Dallas and Detroit.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to. I don't think they heard you clearly there, Steve. It's Dallas and Detroit. Is that what you said?
Brighton. Yeah,
correct.
They moved it to Brighton. Okay. So they split the tournament.
The younger kids are in Dallas, and the big boys are in Detroit.
So are we getting an invite, guys, to work that? That's going to happen, in January? Is that my understanding?
January.
Yeah. Now, is it still supposed to be the same size tournament, or, is it?
I would assume it's going to be pretty close in size. There's still a lot of teams out there playing. Unfortunately, in Illinois, we're not playing, but a lot of other places are. Most of the neighboring states are, which we'll get into that with the breakaway later. But, if everybody else is playing, I don't foresee the tournament being any smaller than it normally is. Chicago's a little bit easier, I believe. That's why they have it here. You have all the major highways. They all run into each other. We have 1 million rinks, 1 million hotels. There's 1 million places for you to go. So I think Chicago was the reason that it was here. Plus, it's a hub. So, it's a hub city, so everybody can get here real quick on flight. So it makes sense to have it here. But I'm glad that they're going to try and do it, even though it's a remote location. I hope they bring it back next year. But, it's one of these things that everybody's trying to move along, and I understand that. And if I get an invite, I'll probably strap on my skates and go head somewhere.
Yeah, when they do that, will they actually, if they're going to Dallas, I mean, for the guys from Chicago, that's a long drive. I mean, that is a full day plus drive. Do you think
13 hours?
Would they fly guys down there, or do you think guys would have to car it down there? Because you're talking January, you could run into any kind of weather going south that time of season. I mean, probably safer to fly.
Yeah,
I mean, when I say
don't know.
safer, just probably easier to get there on a flight than it would be to drive that. But I don't know. Do they cover the
I
guys
don't know.
coming in there? How does that work? Eric, are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they would work that.
The guy. Well, are you talking about in the normal years? Because I can explain the normal years from the St. Louis guys.
Let's say the normal years when they bring, because we have guys coming here from Florida, California, from all over the place when we have the used to be the Nike Bar, the CCM weekend. So, what's the process for those guys that are coming in here?
So normally they're referred to by word of mouth. I have a couple buddies from St. Louis that come up here almost every season, and we work together all 16 games, which, by the way, it gets a little goofy, but they come up after they talk to the assigners, which God bless the assigners on that weekend, because I couldn't imagine even looking at the data in that weekend and trying to put officials there and not have somebody show up at the same rink at the same time. And God bless them. But they'll get in touch with the assigners. The assigners then say, all right, cool, we'll put you here. They put you on games. Then the hotels are supplied by the tournament, and they have so many in so many areas. The one thing is, it depends on where the hotels are given. If, they have a hotel in Rockford and you're skating in Joliet, sorry. I mean, they're going to do the best they can. I know they try to put guys close to where they're going. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. Or if they're working with a Chicago official like me, they normally try to put them somewhere along the path of me getting there so that we can at least carpool together, because we're together all day. It's a long 2.5 days. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And again, I have no idea how they do all that, but that's it. So you get your hotel paid for, you get compensated afterwards for the games that you work, you get to hang out with your buddies, and guess what? You don't have to go to work. So I think that's a big draw. And some guys get away from their wives too. So, not to put any of the wives down, but all right, it is what it is.
So I'm going to go around the room here. Brad, what's the maximum number of games you've worked in a day during the CCM weekend?
Like an actual in
one
the day, like
how many games?
1 24-hour
span? Let's we won't say 24 hours, because that would be 2 days basically with the 90 hours.
So the most is I think I did 9 because there was an injury. A poor official broke their shin. And I was already there for the 3 games, and there were 2 more left of the night, and he broke his shin that morning, and I already happened to be there. I was already tired, so they just tacked on 2 more games to my 7 that day.
So 9 games, and how many band spots was that versus line spots?
Luckily, the last 2 were line spots. My kids are dancing right now in front of me. Anywho,
I hear them.
School
this
must
is live,
be over.
people. We do live stream. So, whatever happens.
So I think that season, I did ref, line, ref, line, ref, and then I lined. Nice. So I think I got lucky. But, I was much younger at that time. Now I get 1 ref spot or 2 ref spots during the day and 4 line spots unless they absolutely need me. So, but it works out a little better when you have 3 officials that everybody is equally talented. So you can put us all in one spot and we kind of work ourselves out. And, oh, you're a little tired right now this morning. All right, I'll go out there. So that's one of the advantages. But stop,
Steve. Son. How many games have you done in a day for the CCM? What's your record?
7 is my max, Scott. And that was a pretty long day. And a quick turnaround too, because you're getting up early the next morning to start the whole grind over again.
Yeah. The worst part is if you get the games on Sunday, because those start really early because they got to get everybody done and finished. But you put in a late night on Saturday. All right, Eric, how many games have you done in a day, my friend?
6 is my max.
6 is your max. Oh man, that's like lightweight material there, Mr. Cowsill.
It is. It's a grind for sure.
Yeah, I've done 7 in a day. That was the most. Somebody got hurt and I got stuck with an extra. Usually it's 6, but I ended up working one day with 7. Thank God we got a running clock on that last game 7. That was awesome.
It usually takes you about a week or 2 to recover from that weekend.
Yeah. As Mr. Furman likes to say, I'll see you in the infirmary on Monday.
Yeah.
That's usually the case after he puts you on all those games. But it is a great weekend. And, you know, I know a lot of the guys are missing that. And, of course, they're missing the money that goes along with it, too, because that is a good weekend for everybody. So, you know, hopefully we'll get that back next season, I would assume, when we return. Or some of the guys will be going out of town, as there are a lot of tournaments, guys, and there are opportunities. Steve or Eric, do you guys want to cover anything with regard to when guys do get to go out of town and anything that they need to be aware of, or anything that comes into play because we're coming from a different association, say from Illinois, going to maybe a Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, wherever, Minnesota, whatever the case may be? Is there anything guys should be aware of when they're doing these tournaments out of state?
I would just say make sure you're in.
When I was in Michigan,
hang on, Rickard. I would just say stay in touch with the assigner, the tournament director, and then just see if you can find out online whatever that rink's protocols are. You know, because I think there's some rinks that are, you know, they want you to go through a scan. Maybe some don't. Maybe they only let you in a certain time before. So, you know, just a couple of those things that you probably want to be mindful of.
Steve, you had something you wanted to add to that?
When I was in Michigan the other weekend, it was mandated that we wear masks the whole time while out on the ice officiating. And players were mandated to wear masks. So Michigan has the mask rule, and it works pretty well. I didn't have any problem with it.
So do you have a mask on and you're using a regular whistle? You said you didn't have the electronic whistle, so are you pulling the mask down to blow the whistle each time? How does that work?
Yes, you have to pull your mask down each time. Sometimes that prolongs the whistle, but the players adapt to that. They figure it out.
Yeah, it'd be a little tougher.
Were you wearing a gaiter, or were you wearing like an ear loop mask, or what were you wearing?
I was wearing a cloth mask. On the ice, my partner was wearing a gaiter, and obviously there was. Go ahead, Brett.
Did your partner have to pull down the gaiter, or were they able to blow the whistle through the gaiter? This is a question that I've had, and I haven't asked anybody yet. Okay.
He pulled down the gaiter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we would both.
I was just
have to pull our mask.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because, you know, a lot of the coaches wear gaiters that I've seen in the rinks. So I was kind of thinking that might be an easier way to do it.
The other thing is, how do you keep it up? I mean, you know, you're exerting a lot of movement. You're sweating. There's a lot of things going on. Did it stay up well, Steve, when you were officiating? I mean, if you were wearing the ear loop, yours probably wouldn't be that big of an issue. But I don't know if like a gaiter, if it would slide down while you're out there.
Let's be realistic. Right. You're not going to be able to wear it 100% of the time. So there's going to be times where you're going to have to pull it down and let your visor kind of defrost so that you can get your vision back.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think about that.
So when I was away from play, these were all Tier 1 U18 two-man games. And when I was away from players, I would pull it down. I couldn't leave it up. You need to be able to get a good breath of air. But when you're going in for face-offs, I was really strict about both players coming in with their mask on. I would have my mask on. I would get the puck down, C-cut out of there, and I would be looking for air.
Yeah. How bad is it in terms of fogging up? Did you have a lot of problem? I mean, I wear glasses, and so the minute I go anywhere, honestly, I can't see anything. It becomes a problem. I can't imagine how bad that would be with the actual visor on the ice. What's that like, Steve?
Well, Scott, you'll probably
Steve's on AOL.
and
Steve is on the AOL dial-up service from the 90s. And AOL, you've got mail.
This is like 12K dial-up.
Yeah. So anyway, Steve, it's moving about as fast as we move on the ice. Your internet connection. There he goes.
There he goes
see?
again.
He's going to dial back in thinking it's going to be faster. He's going to get a lightning speed.
That's
it's
four,
like
right?
his fourth redial.
He's going to dial
And,
up
you know,
his fax machine.
And the beauty of this, guys, I'm running a new computer today, so actually things are pretty stable. I'm only running like 14% with 4 people on, which is like amazing. So I'm really excited that CPU is way down because we used to hit 100 all the time. So I'm sure Steve's going to dial back in. He's hoping that AOL is going to, and there he is. AOL is increasing his speed. He's contacted them, and he's back. Steve, did you get a faster dial-up speed this time?
I
Steve,
think you need to call AT&T.
It's a good
I
thing
apologize, guys. It is what it is.
He's got a real computer.
But what
now.
I was saying,
he's much faster on the ice than he is on internet speed, folks.
Oh yeah, I'm as slow as a dinosaur.
Right. All right. Well, continue, Steve. Finish your story now that you're back.
Well, Scott, you'll end up pushing your visor up.
Okay.
Just so that you can see. You know what? Referees aren't going to be able to wear that mask 100% of the time. Just physically impossible. You need to pull it down to get some fresh air. But it works, and I think with officials and players wearing masks coming into a face-off is making it a lot safer. There were other players that had a bubble
dial-up service
that had.
I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
You gonna loan him some internet speed there, Brad?
I'm gonna drive to his house. By the time we're done, I'll have him finally on.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for the help, Brad.
Hey, no worries. You know, the thing that I get back to is I think most referees would basically wear whatever you wanted right now in order to get back out on the ice. I mean, let's get going here. The players are ready to go. They've been practicing. You know, in Chicago, we have a much earlier start than most of the country. I don't think we realize that. A lot of the country starts about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So we're feeling it worse than they are right now. And the worst part about it is they're getting back on the ice, and we're not. So if you made me wear, a face shield that they're wearing at the post office, if anybody's been to the post office, they're wearing like the medical tech face shields now with the glasses. I'll wear that on the ice over my helmet. I don't care. Let's just get going. Like I'm good with either way.
Somebody asked, how much does an electronic whistle cost? Does anybody know? If you know, put it in the chat. If you guys don't know.
They're like between $19 and $25, depending on the brand. This was a topic that was brought up in a meeting.
And I'm
correct,
guessing
that was the right
battery operated, so you're gonna need extra batteries in your pocket.
Yeah, I want to say $20 comes to mind.
20
Yeah,
bucks.
I think that was about right. I know somebody did the research, but
yeah.
I didn't because I'm not going to buy an electronic whistle. But if they force me to, I guess I will.
Okay, we got a couple other questions here. Well, William, let's see. This one coming in right here. What do you recommend an official do during the shutdown to stay ready so when hockey starts, you're ready to go? I'd love to hear your take on this, guys, but we do have a show that you can refer back to when Jameson was on. Yep. He spoke a lot about staying in shape and what to do. So please check out that show. It's posted up on YouTube, and it's the Jameson Gronert version of the Ref Room. But, guys, give us your thoughts.
End of August.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in Wisconsin.
You know, besides just getting all your registration stuff done, you still have the rule book you can go through every day, try and get outside, jog, walk,
Yeah.
I mean, early on, it was, real easy just to sit on the couch and eat. So
it's still easy. It's still easy.
It's one of the easiest things to do is to
discredit what you can do.
Get the snacks out late night.
You're in.
Salty snacks late night.
Especially with the rule book. Now, now's probably the best time to, work through some of the casebook situations.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys a question too, and I figure you guys are pretty much in the know. You know a lot of the people in the hockey world. With the shutdown going on and hockey being very limited, I mean, are these rinks going to be able to survive? I mean, the costs that they incur without having games there. I mean, the bars aren't open. They're not getting that additional revenue. There's not a lot of games taking when there's no games taking place. I mean, can they really survive? Or are we going to lose some of these rinks that we have here?
The one thing, Scott, that I'll point out, we were lucky here. If you really think about when things got shut down in Chicago, it was semifinals of high school hockey. So every lower tier had already finished all their hockey for the season except for spring league.
Right.
And I know almost every rink took out their ice. So it's basically a big building that sits there, which, is terrible. But, most of the clubs are back practicing. My kids, they practice their normal 2 regiments, and now they're getting different slots on the weekends, which would normally be game slots. So they're just having an extra practice. So the good thing is the rinks are at least somewhat at some sort of capacity. I know that some of them aren't running men's leagues because they don't want to end up with that liability. And I know that hurts because men's league, if you kind of think about it, it's ice that you're never going to sell to youth players, high school, all that. It's 10:30 at night. You keep a Zamboni driver there for an extra hour. They can do their cleaning while there's nobody else in the building.
Yep.
It's a win-win for the rink. It's a win for the guys that want to get out and have some beers with their buddies. Absolutely. And possibly play some stick and puck, I'd call it, in men's league, unless you're playing in an elite league down at Johnny's.
Well, no, wait. But, that takes me to something I need to bring up because, guys, this is let me get the little promo for this.
The Sunday
somewhere. So we are going to do a special show, guys, and I briefly mentioned it last week. I can't find I got to find my scene for this because I've got this thing all done up. But we are going to do a special show, and the special show is going to be Real Hockey, Stories of the Men's League, where we are going to invite referees onto the show, just like these 2 gentlemen here, and they can come on and tell one of their favorite stories of men's league. And I think that would be a blast. So we got to pick a date. And
we're going to
do that.
We're going to let you be blacked out. If you want to be blacked out.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. I got to go through it. I can't see this. Hang on.
Labeling things work. I quit. I'm done.
All right. Well,
too disorganized.
I got this. I can't see it in here. It's so small. This monitor is pretty.
Just keep going.
Mind. I don't know, man. I'm just having fun here, I guess. I put this thing in here. I spent all this time doing this thing, and I can't figure it out now. But well.
I'll edit this out later. And by the way, all I see is a black screen now.
Yeah, I know because I got to get that scene back. I can't find that one either.
It's going to seem weird that we're laughing at you.
Right.
And there's nothing in there. No, but yeah, so we want to do a real men's league story, some refs. Now, it doesn't have to always be men's league. Also, when you're telling these stories, we're not going to have you use any names because sometimes it's a funny story about an official. So we might, have you be able to be blacked out. Scott's working on how to change your voice.
Right. Put you into mugger mode. We'll backlight you, and we'll make sure that nobody can tell you look like you're in one of those witness protection programs.
No, so the one thing though, Scott, I don't think you mentioned is we grabbed some emails over the weekend now, so you can email us a real men's league story. So Scott is refroomscott@gmail.com, and mine is refroombrad@gmail.com. You can bounce us out a story.
We're going to get all the hate email, and we're going to get spammed to death. So,
whatever.
Give it, Refroom Brad, okay? Refroombrad@gmail. There you go.
Go right ahead.
All right. But hey, if you do have ideas for shows, guys, we'd love to hear it. We've had some really great guests, and just like these two guys that are with us today, I appreciate your taking time out to come join us because they're busy. They both have work to do, and they're here for you guys. So if you've got some questions for them, now is a great time to pop them into the comments. We have a lot of people watching, and you guys are a fairly quiet group. I mean, other groups are much more involved.
It's like teaching
Eric's
a seminar.
putting his fingers, yeah, they like to.
I like teaching a seminar, right?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Hey, you know what, Scott? Since you already played it, we could, you could put up the breakaway. We can do that right now. I mean, you already hinted at it.
You want to do the breakaway? Okay. I think that's.
Go ahead, Eric.
Let me add one thing. I don't know if everybody's aware, but we recently had Jack's golf outing, and prior to that, we created a brand new award, which it will now be an annual award. It's the Mark Gore Service Award. I think when Jack was on, he talked to some of the health issues that Mark's facing. And so currently we have an award for our lead instructor. We have an award for our assistant instructor. And the thought process behind this was, to recognize somebody who's, been around for a long time, given back, but kind of done it in a behind the scenes kind of way. And Mark was a great guy. He'll sit in the locker room with you, talk to you, help you on the ice afterward. So we created the Mark Gore Service Award, and that was given to him at the golf outing. So,
oh, that's nice. That's awesome.
He's gonna come on next week and be our one of our guest hosts. So he's gonna have some fun with that, and he'll explain how important it was to him, and he'll have the award. Unfortunately, I talked to him last night, and he sends his blessings, but he wasn't able to be on today. But he really wants to, so. We will end up. Did I just see that in the comments? I love you all, handsome kittens.
Yeah, I'll put that up so the rest of the people can see it. There you go.
Thank you, Cannon. Anyways, but no. So Mark's going to come on. He's going to have some fun, tell some stories. Hopefully, he talks about his transition from being a coach all the way to being a referee now. So, and what it means to him and the people that he's met. And I've known Mark for 20 years. So it's a long time, and it's tough to see somebody having some health issues. And I think this is a good way to honor some officials, like Eric said, from the outside. Some guys that, you always look at them and you go, I know that guy, but I don't know why they're not the lead instructor. They're not running stuff. They're not on the board. But they are doing a lot in the background, and I think it was a great idea. And Eric, thanks for proposing that idea. I know it was a board effort, but I know that you were one of the leads on putting that together. So appreciate it. I think it's a great award.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like you said, there's people on the board, people that do seminars and on ice, but there's a lot of guys that are instrumental behind the scenes helping out, fellow officials, new officials. So. That was awarded to him. So very honored to present that to him, and his family was there, which was great. So it was a good day.
Yeah, we had a picture of he and his daughter up on the thumbnail for the show for today.
Yeah,
let's
that'd
see.
be great if you could get him on.
What's this? If I could ever work a 5-man game, it would be with you guys. Can I get a witness? There you go. Love it. Okay. Yes, you can testify right there. Testify. So there's a good 5-man game. This would be a good 4-man game right here. I mean, I'd be out of my league with you guys, but I'd have some fun. This would be a good 4-man crew. I think we'd get a couple of yucks in the locker room. It'd be fun. We'll have to make that happen if we can. So, schedulers, if you're watching, there you go.
That's intense.
Get us on a men's C League game in a 4-man. That would be perfect. We'll have a good time out there.
Stay out of the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would look forward to that, boys.
I would too. I'd take a men's league game right now. I mean, like to see the men's league come back. If we're down to 25 guys, man, I mean, at least they can still skate. That's the beauty of it. I mean, the teams probably have fewer than 25 people when they're there, so at least it's not shutting them down totally. Here's a question. Thoughts? our governor decided to escalate the basketball people into the new level, which puts them in the same category as hockey finally. Anybody have any thoughts or comments on that?
I think they should move hockey to a lower level and keep basketball where they put it.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
I would agree.
I thought it should have been there. I thought it should have been there because they're, pull a basketball term, they're sharing the rock. They're throwing around the same ball.
You're definitely the hands, the sweaty, the touching the body, shirts off sometimes, bare skin, things that hockey does not have. So I agree with that. I mean, I think that hockey should be reduced to a lower what do you call them? Level of
risk level.
Risk level, yeah.
Who cares what they're calling it?
Yeah, exactly.
How about this? This is off topic. Has anybody driven around? Were any of the restaurants by you guys closed? Because all the restaurants are supposed to be closed by us. I can tell you this without a doubt. Will County was supposed to close the 23rd, I believe it was. Or
was this closed for seating, for indoor dining, or is this closed period? Like they're supposed to be closed for indoor dining.
Indoor dining, and they can only operate till 11 o'clock if they have outdoor seating or curbside. I'm going to tell you this. I drove past a place. It's a really little hole in the wall bar, great food, great prices, great people that work there. It's the same 10 people that are always there. It's by my house. It's a nice place. And there were cars in this parking lot like you couldn't believe. And unless everybody was at the Anytime gym, which I highly doubt, they were open and they looked open. So I'm just curious, is that everywhere, or is that just kind of by me? Or
we may not want to go down this road, but I will throw one more comment in. I came back last night because they're closing. Cook County suburban restaurants are having to stop indoor dining for 2 weeks. So we went to support one of our favorite places, which is on the border. So we'll call it what it is, Lake Cook Road.
Yeah.
Okay. So one side can open, one side can stay closed, which is kind of tough to begin with. But what I was going to say is coming back, and I'm in my neighborhood, which is Logan Square, and I'm on Milwaukee Avenue, and the McDonald's drive-thru doing business, man. They are busy. It's way after 10 o'clock. I'm just curious why that's an essential restaurant versus the guy that's got the restaurant next door that has to shut down at 10 o'clock. What is the difference that makes McDonald's essential versus the other restaurant that serves the same food but is not essential? Could you explain that one to me? I guess I
think you're taking on too big of a target there.
Yeah, okay.
I think you should have taken on a smaller target.
Right. Well, at least we got guys chiming in now. I'm getting some comments. So restaurants are open downtown, inside until Friday. That's right. In Chicago till Friday. Friday they changed to only outside. Downtown Geneva is allowed to stay open based on a court order. Yeah, I did see somebody. There was a restaurant that sued and won. So I guess they're staying open.
They have a temporary injunction.
Good for them. Good for them. Can we get a temporary injunction for hockey, guys? Has that been talked about? I mean, where is that? Can't talk about it. Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Well, I think Steve froze up there again. It must be the internet connection.
Steve, pay your
he disappeared. Look at that. I told you it was internet connection.
Five.
I know, everybody's trying, everything they can do, and I'm sure there's every possible group that's trying to persuade them to get us back on the ice, but just no success yet.
Yeah, the bottom line is everybody is over this and wants to move on with their life. There he is. His dial-up is working again.
All right. Does somebody keep picking up the phone at your house?
Steve, do you have little mice are the mice on a treadmill trying to run that internet over there? Are they just working so hard?
Oh my God.
Those mice are getting tired. They've been working hard.
That's what all that smoke is behind him.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he's back. He's almost in the witness protection mode with that lighting so that you can't tell who it is.
Well, after your last comment, Scott, before this, I'll be doing the show next week by myself. Just so everybody knows, if Scott goes missing,
Right.
Just don't wonder why. So
I've been eating. Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Well,
Jake-
we had to hit a couple of those things just because everybody's got their frustration level. So
Well,
you
the
guys
good
know
thing
where I
is-
stand on this. But hey,
right. We already got through your frustration about
right.
10 shows ago, so that helps out.
So guys, are you going to stay on while we do Brad's breakaway? Let's do Brad's breakaway. You
Yeah,
guys
we'll
can stay
stick
with
on.
us. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Steve,
All
if
right.
you drop out again, you just get those mice to run a little
just-
harder. Put a piece of cheese in front of them and let them get on that treadmill and spin. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
We got to get him a gerbil.
All right, so let's put the intro up for Brad's breakaway.
If you play the men's league one, I'm going to die laughing.
Time for Brad's breakaway on the ref room. Here we go. And there it is. Brad's breakaway, everybody. How about that?
All right. Well, my couch has got its own window today, so that's interesting. But okay, so Brad's breakaway today. Etiquette while officiating in other states. Now, quite a few local officials are venturing out into other states. Let's remember that we're guests there. Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to the rink, and some gentlemen have been in the area. They've been working a tournament all weekend, and you go into the rink referee room and it's trashed, just trashed. And I get that they're living there basically for the weekend, but have some etiquette. We're visitors. Be the local guys. Be nice to them. Engage with them when you go into a locker room, just like you would with Chicago guys. I can't stand when there's a tournament in town and the officials ignore you, and you're the local guy, and it you kind of get a bad taste in your mouth from it, and you go, boy, those guys are a-holes. So if you're an Illinois person, this is for our Illinois officials. If you're going out and working in another state, let's not get the reputation of being the Illinois officials. Let's go out. Let's work with the crews that we have. Luckily, I'm a dual member. I'm a member in Missouri, and they accepted me as one of their own. And I made sure that when I went down there, I knew it was their rink. I'm going to take care of it because they're there every day. I'm a visitor. And you know what? I have way more friends now, being dual than I ever would have imagined. And, I go down there and they love me coming down, and I love being down there and hanging out with them and officiating. So let's not get we're the Illinois guys just visiting. We're here just to referee Illinois teams, because there are some Illinois teams playing games in other areas. We know that. But let's make sure that we respect what's there and take care of it just like we would in our own. Because I don't know about you guys, I hate walking into a ref room that's trashed, or we already heard the e-bag rant on one of the breakaways. So we're not going to go back there. But let's just try and be respectful and remember that we're not only representing ourselves when we go to the rink, we're also representing where we come from. And it's a much different reason now than it ever has been. Any comments on any of that, guys? I think I covered most of it.
Let's go around the room. Maybe everybody's got one pet peeve or tip that they want to share. So,
Sure.
Steve, what's one of your pet peeves in the ref room that guys do that drive you crazy that you'd like to see them not do?
When you walk in and you're standing in a puddle of water, there's
You
nothing
just
Wipe
worse.
your blade.
You just
Wipe your
took mine.
blades off.
Yeah, knock your blades off, guys.
Absolutely.
Don't leave water behind in the ref room, okay? Nothing worse than having to walk around in the ref room and there's water everywhere. Eric, come on. You got one.
Thanks for that idea, Steve. Now I know what I'm going to do next time I work with you.
Oh yeah.
The room that Eric is in might actually be a referee locker room. Right
do
now.
they let Eric in the referee room? Is the question. Do they make him dress outside?
Sometimes. No, I think the one that comes to mind is when you open a door and it opens about a foot and hits a bag and you can't even get in. And
Yep.
I know sometimes it's just, if you're in a tournament, and you got 4-man crews coming and going, there's not much you can do. It's just is what it
E-bag.
is.
Okay. All right, here's a question. Let's throw this one out here. And Steve, I'll throw this your way. What's the worst ref room in the Chicagoland area?
Oh boy.
Putting you on the spot
That's pretty
here.
easy. That's pretty easy, Scott.
I got
I'm
the
gonna see
winner.
I'm gonna see if we agree here. Let's go around the room.
Go
Guys, I'll let you chime in. If you're in the comments, just type in what do you think the worst referee room in the Chicagoland area is? We might
No
as well put them
offense
on
to
blast today.
by the way.
Addison
Oh,
Ice Arena.
yeah. I forgot about that one because I
There's a
took
lot
it
of
off
mold
my
in
list. I took it off my list. I won't go there. It's so disgusting. So yeah, Addison, if you're listening, or if some of the parents and teams and players and coaches are listening, they need to clean it up there. That is definitely, it's right up there. But there's some others. Eric, you got one for us that you don't like?
I think the one that's challenging is Edge East or Edge South.
Edge.
Both small.
So is that the Jefferson Street, the little one?
Jefferson Street.
Yeah, the Jefferson Street.
It's
John's.
tough if you got a
John
3 or
Street. That's what
4-man
it is.
crew.
John Street. Yeah, John Street is pretty tough. At least they keep it clean. I mean, it's better than some. I'm going to throw Lake Forest. I'm going to throw Lake Forest College out there because that is. I don't think they've cleaned that since the 70s. They got the 70s Zamboni when I was playing there for the Minor Hawks, and I think they still have not cleaned that locker room since the 70s. They put those lockers in there. It's better than it was, but I mean, you can't even get 2 guys in there, let alone a 4-man crew and 2 4-man crews coming in there. I just never understood why they wouldn't fix that up.
Scott, about 10 years ago, there used to be a trainer's table in that room, if you can believe it. It used to be up against the back wall.
The question is where. They had like 800 pounds of salt in there. They had an air compressor. They had everything that was toxic waste. It's like, if it's toxic waste, just put it in the referee room, and that's where
that
we'll
guy
store
lost
it.
his finger. Throw that in there.
Yeah, put it in there.
Store it in there.
Store it.
All right.
Somebody will find it.
I got the winner, okay? And I this one probably slips a lot of people's mind. Outdoors at Cicero. You get dressed in the front office behind this, I guess you would call it a screen, with all of the employees standing there as public skates coming off and people are looking at you, and it's the worst. And you're sitting on top of each other, and then you have to leave your stuff in there. There's people coming and going from this office as you're trying to get dressed. It's absurd. And it's outdoors, and it's cold, and you're freezing already.
Never been there. Another one that's not on my list. No outdoor hockey for me, guys. Sorry. No outdoor. I've taken them all off the list. I only did one outdoor game in the 9 years I've been doing this. I accidentally took a game at Watts in Glencoe. And it wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty nice night. Again, dressing rooms, not great, but, you could at least get dressed there.
They have heaters for the fans.
Evanston is new, but Evanston used to be one of the worst locker rooms, too. That was pretty bad. But they got a beautiful new facility now. Their locker rooms are awesome. What a great place. So we got some new rinks. We got the new Glenview rink. Have any of you guys been to the new Glenview rink yet? I haven't been there yet. I hear it's we saw pictures. Nope. It was beautiful.
We did.
I have not been there yet. But I will tell you the best smelling rink is Rosemont.
Haven't been there. Outdoors.
The best.
Do you see a recurring theme here, guys, on the outdoor rinks? That's why I probably have them all checked off as no, and that includes if you sent me to Wrigley Field. I'm not going. I'm not going to Soldier Field. I don't care. Kevin Haller says
restaurants right around that rink, and
yeah. Well, no, it's a great area. I've actually worked in some of those hotels. I've done shows right there, so I know. But Kevin Hauer says Edge East or Addison Square Garden. Yes, the Addison Square Garden. It's a good one. Very good, Kevin.
You know what? It was better to work at Rosemont when Toby Keith was still there because they used to have an outdoor balcony, and all the people that were medicating themselves used to come out on the balcony, and they would yell from the balcony, and you could hear them clear as day. I mean, it was a lot of fun when they were up there, but Toby Keith is no longer around. I know it changed into a couple other things, but yeah, it's interesting. What also is interesting about Rosemont is they have that little Kris Kringle market there behind the one goal. And I remember a player took a puck and he launched it, and it was like 80 feet in the air. Who knows why he put it there? It flew over the tents that were behind the boards. And I'm like, you probably just hit somebody. Everybody started laughing or whatever. No more than like 4 or 5 minutes later, we saw this lady standing at the boards, big bag of ice on her head with this look like she was going to kill everybody out on the ice. So unless she fell down and was mad at us because of ice, I don't know. But I like to believe that, unfortunately, that puck might have actually struck her. And if she's watching, he didn't mean to do it. He just isn't very coordinated.
There you go. All right, guys, we're going to start to wrap things up. Anybody got anything else you want to add before we go? I'll start. Steve, what do you got, my friend? Anything?
We have 2 seminars left, level 4 tomorrow and a level 1 on November 4th and 5th with an optional skate in Joliet on the Saturday following.
Awesome.
Things are coming to an end here for seminars. So if you haven't signed up, guys, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't filled out your USA Hockey information and started to get your screening and everything else, now is the time. You are running out. I mean, if we return to hockey tomorrow or on November 4th, which could happen, if we do, you're going to have to get screened. You cannot work games. So,
and your tests have to be done. So
yeah,
I'll tell you this: if they say we can play hockey tomorrow, I'm gonna have to sit down and do my open book test. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm guilty of that right now. And I already got a little talking to by our RIC and president before we got started. So don't think that even though I've been reffing 21 years, they don't give me a hard time. And I'm sure the reminder emails will be coming out soon. So if you're from Illinois and you've ever been on the whip of the reminder emails, they start coming and they just don't stop.
They don't stop.
So
it's like spam. It just never
get your
stops.
Stuff done. Just get your stuff done and be done with it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to sit down with mine probably this weekend.
I'm
that's
hoping,
what I'm telling everybody.
I'm hoping my crest arrives this week. It should be in the mail. Maybe that's what that sound in the background was when the mail lady was here. So hopefully.
There you go.
Yeah.
The
Eric,
female courier.
Yes. Eric, what else you got? Oh,
thanks
go ahead,
for
Steve.
having me, guys.
Oh, pleasure, man. Thank you for taking
thanks
time
for
out.
having me, guys.
All right.
Do you want to call back
you want to say
again?
that? You want to say that again in case your internet connection goes out? So, Steve, the first phone call when you get off should be to the internet company to get some more speed.
You even have proof. You could go back when this restreams and be like, I'll email you the proof that this stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, you got to get off the $9.95 a month plan, okay? You got to get up to the $19.95 level.
We'll figure it out there for you, Scott.
All right, Steve. Thanks for joining us. Eric, how about you? Last chance to pitch these guys on finishing up, or anything else you want to tell them or remind them, or?
No, I know it's a challenging year for everybody, and sometimes it's a financial issue, and I certainly understand that. I just feel bad to see some guys lose their status should they choose not to sign up, but I would respect their decision. I would just say whether it's this year or any years going forward, if anybody local is on, any questions regarding anything throughout the season, registration, games, issues, doesn't matter. Please reach out. We're here for you guys. And thanks for having us on today.
Well, thanks for taking time. We appreciate you, Eric, and all that you do.
You.
Both of you guys are in the rinks. For those of you that don't know Eric and Steve, they are out there all the time. They work a lot of games. They come around. They're there to help you. They are good people. Their heart is in the right spot when it comes to hockey and the hockey community. So on behalf of everybody, thank you for what you do.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for us.
Thanks, Scott.
My pleasure. We will see you guys next week, starting at noon Central right here. Don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube. The replays will be up there. It usually takes about 24 hours for them to process, but they'll be up there. You can catch us on Facebook in the Ref Room. Please subscribe. Hit the notification button. You can also get us on Twitch. Twitch is a great way to watch, guys, if you haven't checked that out. The stream is amazing. And you can do that at twitch.tv/refroom. So that's going to kind of start us to wind things down here. Again, I thank everybody for joining. Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
Isn't there a C in that Twitch?
No, no. For YouTube, it's YouTube/C, which is channel/refroom. So you can actually search it out. I mean, even if you Google us, we actually show up now. We're so popular that we are now just like
amazing.
You see, we've crashed Steve's internet like 6 times today, so that's our popularity.
Hackers are getting them.
That's right.
They're stealing his private information.
That's right, and they've got your email address now, so look for lots of email coming your way, Brad.
Refroombrad@gmail.com. Go ahead.
All right, guys.
Send me all the.
Brian says Brian is one of our loyal watchers. Thank you for that, Brian. Great show, guys.
Thank you,
Had some
Brian.
good laughs. Well, we appreciate you. You do a good job out there, Brian, and I look forward to seeing you on the ice soon. So, guys, again, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great week. We are the Ref Room. We do it on Wednesdays. I'm Scott Smokin' Sills, along with Brad Baumrock, our referee-in-chief, Eric Cowsill, and our president of IHOA, Steve Rickard. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We're out of here.
Thanks, guys.